Imagine this, a sunny Tuesday morning. You just need a little caffeine kick on your way to work. A $4 iced Americano. Perfect. The aroma of roasted beans, peaceful jazz music. You pull out your card, insert it into the reader. Up to this point, it's a peaceful morning in capitalism. But that peace shatters exactly 0.5 seconds later, the moment the barista spins that white iPad screen toward you. That is not just a payment screen. It is a digital court judging your morality. 3 numbers float in the center of the screen: 20%, 25%, 30%. They shine arrogantly, like judges rating your character grade. And way down at the bottom, in gray text, so small you'd need a microscope to see it, no tip. Now the game begins. Time limit, 3 seconds. They just poured coffee into a cup. Pressing a button on an espresso machine is the extent of their labor. Why should I pay an extra $1? Reason screams this inside your head, but your eyes lock onto the barista. He is smiling, but his eyes are dead. His stare says, "Let's see if you're a human being or a piece of trash." Behind you, other customers running late for work are sighing, drilling holes into the back of your head. Cold sweat trickles down. What if you press no tip? The barista will remember your name. Maybe there will be spit in your coffee next time, or maybe a shot short. In the end, you surrender. With a trembling finger, you tap 20%. You aren't being kind, you just got mugged, legally and very elegantly. Restaurants take it to a whole new level. You open the menu, steak, $30. You calculate, $30, not bad. But please, wake up, people. The numbers on an American menu are not prices. They are worms on a fishing hook, pure bait. You finish your meal and ask for the check. The waiter brings that little leather folder. The moment you open it, you witness magic. You definitely ate $30 worth of food, but the total is now $50. $20 just materialized out of thin air. What on earth just happened? Why is your wallet screaming in agony? You read the receipt line by line. State tax, local tax. Fine, I get it. The government needs to eat too. But look below that. Kitchen appreciation fee 3%, healthcare mandate 4%, credit card processing fee 3%. Is this a bill for dinner or the restaurant owner's business operation report? Why am I paying for the staff's health insurance, which the owner should be covering? And then, the grand finale. Suggested tip, 20%, 22%, 25%. And yes, this calculation is based on the total amount after tax. Who is stupid enough to tip on tax? You are. This isn't a meal. It's a math test, a hostage situation, and a blatant scam. You didn't come here to eat. You came to be a forced investor funding the owner's business capital. To find the roots of this massive scam, we must travel back to the aristocratic salons of 17th century Europe. Nobles tossed coins to servants for amusement. Here, catch. It wasn't gratitude, it was a verification of class, a reminder that I am the master and you are the servant. When this filthy habit crossed the Atlantic, the founding fathers were horrified. Tipping in a land without kings? This is an insult to democracy. They rejected it, calling it a vile bribe. But capitalist greed was stronger than any democratic ideal. The turning point was right after the Civil War. Railroad tycoon George Pullman had a brilliant, twisted idea. Let's hire newly freed slaves as porters, but let's not pay them wages. Let them survive on the scraps thrown by passengers. This is the true face of American tipping culture. That 20% you left today? It is not gratitude for service. It is a modern slave contract designed to avoid paying wages, and you just signed it on behalf of the employer. Some might say, that's ancient history. Think again. In 1938, America finalized this theft into law. When FDR established the minimum wage, restaurant lobbyists whispered a devil's deal. Exclude the tipped workers. They survive on customer money anyway. As a result, tipped workers were stripped of minimum wage protection. This was no accident. This was legislated exploitation. The government sold out workers' survival rights to protect the owners' wallets. And that law is still robbing you today, nearly a century later.
History doesn't just repeat itself. History conspires. In the past, at least a human provided the service, but now we are living in the era of the monster known as tipflation. The moment you grab a $4 muffin and insert your card, the barista spins that white tablet toward you. Look at the screen. 15% is gone. The new defaults are 20%, 25%, and 30%. And the no tip button? It is hidden in the corner, tiny, like a button that confesses, "I am a cheapskate." The 3 seconds of silence, the barista's stare. You aren't tipping, you are paying a social awkwardness tax. Even worse are the self-checkout kiosks. You scan the barcode, you bag the groceries. You did the labor. So why is the machine asking for a tip? Who is it for? Are you subsidizing the robot's electricity bill? Delivery apps are even more vicious. This isn't a delivery fee, it is a food hostage situation. If you don't prepay the tip, your pizza will arrive in 2 hours ice cold. This isn't the service industry. It is a service auction house run by digital thugs, a barbaric auction where only the highest bidder deserves a warm meal. Do you think pressing 20% is your free will? Don't flatter yourself. You have been designed. This tablet screen is a psychological trap built by Silicon Valley geniuses. They call it a dark pattern. They hide the no tip button. They blast 20% and 25% in giant fonts to brainwash you into thinking 20% is reasonable. This is the anchoring effect. And while you struggle to find the no tip button for 5 seconds, the barista stares at you. Those 5 seconds feel like an eternity. This isn't tech innovation. It is a gambling machine more sophisticated than a casino slot, extracting money by holding your social anxiety hostage. Do you know the federal minimum wage for tipped workers in America? Don't be shocked. It is $2.13 an hour. Prices have skyrocketed. Decades have passed, but this number hasn't budged a single cent since 1991. Who makes up the difference? The boss? The government? No, it is you. The restaurant owner hides in the back, counting profits. He hired the staff, but he doesn't pay them. Instead, he sells you guilt. Hey customer, don't you pity this server? If you don't tip, they starve. It's on you. This is perfect gaslighting. The boss reduces his labor cost risk to 0% and dumps the entire burden on the customer. You are not here to eat, you are an unpaid volunteer filling out the owner's payroll. Is this the beautiful culture of sharing you talk about? No. This is simply the final boss of parasitic capitalism, a tragedy where human dignity is sold for $2. Owners squawk like parrots. If I pay wages, menu prices will skyrocket. Do you want to pay $20 for a burger? This isn't economics, it is fear marketing. Let's do the math. A $15 burger plus a $5 tip is already $20. If a burger in a no-tip country costs $18, you are actually saving $2. There is only one difference. In a no-tip system, that money legitimately goes to the staff and gets taxed. In a tip system, it disappears into opacity. Prices will go up is a lie. The truth is, the owner just wants to say, my profits will go down. Don't be fooled. You are already paying $20.
Now let me introduce the judge who will end this chaos, South Korea. Koreans don't take a math test at the end of a meal. Why? Because they have a powerful sledgehammer called the Food Sanitation Act. This law is brutally simple. The number on the menu is the final number you pay. Tax, service charge, labor costs? The law mandates the owner to do the math and bake it all into the price. In Korea, asking for a tip isn't culture, it's borderline criminal. People are terrified that food prices will skyrocket without tips, but this is a linguistic trick even a child could see through. A $15 burger in the US ends up being $22 after tax and tip. A 20,000 won burger in Korea is just 20,000 won. See the difference?
Korea baked honesty into the price, while America hid deception behind it. The American system uses cognitive paralysis to prevent you from knowing how much you're actually spending, all to line the owner's pockets. Why don't American politicians fix this twisted system? The answer is simple: money. Giant organizations like the National Restaurant Association, NRA, pour cash into Capitol Hill. They whisper fear into politicians' ears. If you kill tips, restaurants will die and jobs will vanish. The government values lobbyist donations more than your hard-earned wallet. The U.S. government has hidden this issue behind the excuse of cultural tradition. By letting workers starve if tips aren't paid, they forced citizens to police and blame each other. This is a high-level transfer of responsibility. Is it a normal country when the state leaves the minimum living wage to the mercy of a customer? The government doesn't lack a solution. They just prioritize corporate profit over your pain. No alternatives? That's a lie. Numerous no-tip restaurants are already conducting experiments within the U.S. 7 states, including California and Washington, have already abolished the tip credit, guaranteeing servers a standard minimum wage. The result? Restaurants didn't collapse, and service quality became even more stable. Why does raising the minimum wage fail every time? Big franchises always use small local restaurants as human shields when they lobby. They scream, "If you raise wages, that poor local bakery will go bankrupt." But the truth, they are holding small businesses hostage to protect their own massive profits. If you don't vote to change the law, you aren't helping a neighborhood diner. You're just subsidizing a billionaire CEO's yacht. Korea isn't perfect. They might have traded human connection for efficiency, but at least they chose honesty in transaction. While Americans masturbate to the idea of tipping as freedom, your pockets have become an ATM for owners' labor costs. Is this still a beautiful culture, or is it proof that you're a sucker of the system? As long as you don't demand the truth on the price tag, politics won't change, and owners will keep raiding your wallet. What Korea showed us isn't just convenient. It's proof of how pleasant a society can be when the system is honest. Every time you open your wallet to tip, ask yourself, are you showing gratitude or are you just providing oxygen to this rotten system of exploitation? How long do you plan to remain a supporting actor in this play?
Not culture, it's a costume on a crime. Tuxedo exploitation dressed up and it's fine. Old world flex turned into modern control. Post-war loopholes kept the wages on hold. Pullman vibes, free labor in a new suit. Let the guests pay while the boss stays cute. 213 stuck like a rusted chain. Decades frozen and they call it the game. Tech firms grin, dark patterns in the code. Gov look away while the lobby reloads. Small business shield, human body armor, but somebody's eating and it's not the servers. Korea said, show the final cost. Law in place, menu price, paid price. Clean and straight. If you want respect, put wages in the rate, not a guilt tax at the end of the plate. AM out of Casalo, order captive. Hands up, wallet down. System active, no tip, hidden guilt trip. Got you trapped, kid. Price says one thing, receipt gets savage. Hospitality included, that's the standard. Final price, Jonga Pyoshi, understand it. AM out of Kesima, order captive. Tell me who you are when the screen says pick it. Tip ain't a thank you when it feeds the ride. Vote with your voice and vote with your slide. Customer or captive, you decide when the screen turns. AM out of Kesima, AM out of Kesima.